highlight reel play in game number 2.
Well, let's hop into it right now. Game 2 of Hanwha versus Griffin. Big cheer as, yes, we are here in LCK 2019 summer.
Where would you rather be, Valdez? Is Lava coming in, going to be going for the phase rush. Could have understood Aftershock in this matchup, depending on whether you want to play around the Rise or not, but we'll be going for the phase rush, probably the most common keystone we see, especially in the mid lane. Otherwise, no big surprise. I guess the top lane rune, the Electrocute on the Aatrox, a different look. We've seen mostly Conqueror. In the jungle, we see Aftershock, but Electrocute for those burst trades onto SoHwan.
Yeah, he wants to get on top and stay there and do the damage, so.
Kalista Thresh want to get on top and stay there in the 2v2. So the way you usually do that is to rush straight to lane and try for even a level 1 all-in onto the Lux. You do not want to give a leash if you're going to pick Kalista Thresh, and they're not. They're not going to give a leash. They're going to go straight into lane. Probably going to reveal themselves pretty early. Thresh actually went to the second rush to try to get control maybe on the ranged minions. I'd love to actually, if I had Pro View, I'd go bot lane to see if he was prepping any minions, but no, Key is just taking over this brush.
That's Key's brush, and he will just give that away.
And they have no idea, the enemy, that there is a ward in this brush, because it was placed before they entered lane. This is saying, let's level 2 all in, which, given that Viper and Lehends ended up entering lane so late, they didn't rush to lane themselves, you'd have to think they'll play on the back foot, maybe not.
How about a level 1 play here, but the shield first from the side of Lehends. He kind of knows what to do in this one.
I'm guessing he skilled that after the hook land. I'm guessing he didn't skill, because otherwise you're a champion that can't use their keystone, right? The level 2's actually hit, of all things, by Viper and Lehends, so that was unlikely, but does happen. I guess trimming the wave with the Q was enough when that all-in attempt was happening, so that actually does stop there from being any doom. You're going to get the replay here of what happened on the spawning pool.
They're killing Lee Sin.
They're having fun with the the Kalista.
Yeah.
As you're able to put good use to the item, always available in the shop when there's a Kalista on the enemy team. The binding plays in the late game can be so fun. Lee Sin with an extra gap closer. You start thinking, all right, I thought we saw the most of the kick flash. Maybe there's more things. Another all-in. It's going to be half health on Viper.
Tarzan hanging around the bottom lane. Thought if they were going to go all in that time around, he could turn it around. And again, kind of in the right place at the right time. We were talking about Score and Tarzan. They're both playing today. Tarzan's kind of the new age, young, new player. Score as, oh boy, Lehends, you're in a little bit of trouble here. The play comes in, and Moojin trying to get in there. One more auto will do it, and Key is going to pick up first blood, but he trades it as Viper gets the kill there onto the AD carry, and now looking for more. We'll get a second one, and how about a third? As down will go the Thresh as well. A lot of those kills going the way of the Lee Sin. Only one to Viper.
So greedy from the side of Hanwha Life. The moment Thresh is flashing in, yes, you get first blood, but you're going to die. You knew Lee Sin was bot side. They weren't shit in the night around that scuttle. So given all of that, they walk in here, and it should have been eyes open in this fight, whether the vision was there or not. Regardless, it's so deep. If you get counter-ganked here, 3 people are going to die very nicely, threaded by Viper to get the first kill. Moojin flashes, Key's on the wrong side, into the death chamber. Hanwha Life.
Tarzan, full health, double buff, level 4. Just sitting there and stacking the cash right now in that bottom lane. Right place, right time again. As Lehends looking for the gank here as Lava. Interesting position, but we'll be able to get away.
Died with both the summoners up, too. The heal, at least, would have been probably not, in the end, a game changer, but helpful, that's for sure.
Probably wouldn't have died to that Void Seeker, but I don't think he was expecting that aggressive of a flash immediate W, so.
Fair point. Especially the flash W of all flash things, right? If you see the Q, then you're like, okay, the flash isn't going to do it, the flash W. Nicely done from Viper. And already, backs against the wall, just in a different way, right? It's not the Sona's free farming, It's the, well, that's a lot of kills to pass over, and the Lee Sin's going to have an epically early warrior in chat on the back end of it.
Tarzan already having a fun game. See if it turns into a pop-out one, or pop-out. I don't even know.
Wait, Valdez.exe has corrupted.
It's still corrupted
I
from
see
the last
problem.
game.
It's a Win32 application, not a Win64. So,
oh boy,
we need the 64-bit version.
You need to update me. What's going on? You're the Papa. It's your job. As it's their job to go onto lava. Nice flash out of the way there. So we'll be able to avoid it. Tarzan still looking for more kills on this map.
I think he's certainly in a very nice spot to get them, as we mentioned, with the very nice first purchase. Lava has to flash, doesn't have the aftershock. So in those outnumbered scenarios, he is in a lot of strife, to put it mildly. Speaking of strife, important to note that it's 3 kill involvements, but not multiple kills. Still, BSL's probably the biggest purchase you can get that early in the lane. So even if it was a bit more, like it's maybe not a boots or a couple of daggers on top, it's still a lot to contend with. And Viper very clearly won't be going down the Manamune route in the laning phase on the Kai'Sa.
That is for sure, as Sword taking a back here. And it's just the one. Not so bad, but he is still down about 10 CS, maybe 7 or 8 at the end once he gets that one. Tarzan waiting on the edge of that, but now he's going to be spotted down on the bottom side.
Cool ward. It's out of the range of the river control ward, it's out of the range of the vision of the turret. Again, it's the kind of creative ward you see against lane ganks.
So, Tarzan walked over this control ward in the river, and I saw a red ping on it right as he walked by it. They still haven't cleared it out.
Maybe they just don't feel like that's where the battlefield is, and they need to be somewhere fast. It is Lux and Lee Sin going together. So turret dive instead.
He landed the binding. Lava, will he die though? No. As the Q is going to miss, and Chovy takes a bunch of damage. It's not going to be enough as he makes it out there with the corrupting potion.
That was them saying they had better things to do than kill control wars. They wanted to kill Rises. They came close, but they weren't able to pick it up there, even without aftershock. The fact that the minion wave was in the spot meant they weren't able to get enough damage onto the Rise. That's the dive that was turned around in pretty epic fashion by Lava.
Nice little idea, especially after blowing that flash. Definitely a kind of basic thing you learn as you get better at League. You know, try to count the summoners and go for ganks on people who don't have their flash specifically.
For the confirmation, they know the control ward is there. They're killing the Drake on top of it. It's because they have very good...
that was the other one. There was another one.
Yes.
Above them.
They have very good intel that SoHwan is top side, so it's all about the speed of the Drake rather than anything else. Aatrox actually left lane and might be picking up the red buff. Here's the replay. See the play here with the binding kick. See, Tarzan doesn't get to do damage, so it doesn't matter that he has all those extra spells. It's only the 2 AD ratio on the kick that actually is relevant there, so the warrior enchant doesn't actually get fully flexed on the Rise, and Rise lives to tell the tale.
It was a scary tale indeed, as 3 members came mid to try to gank him after he lost that flash. But he is just fine, as SoHwan wants to get in there and take an aggressive trade, but the timing perhaps is not the best. Sword is thinking about it. Nice flash here to get away from that Lee Sin Q.
Sword suspiciously posturing forward when there is no revive anymore on the Aatrox without a kill. Kind of gave the early spoilers to SoHwan that the leapfrog for Tarzan is all he was going for. Flash had to be used to get away from the Q. This is on a ward, so SoHwan will definitely interrupt.
That's just the interrupt. Misses the 1 minion, but it's going to be worth it. Big push down here, but fight from Lehends in position to stop it.
Tarzan's had one of those I'm just only everywhere games so far. Ever since the scuttle into counter gank bot side, he has made the action happen, but from Hanwha Live's perspective, not to the tipping point of the gold lead or that mid lane dive coming off. Only 500 gold odd between the two teams.
Now it's Key's turn to go for the roam, as he is very close to the mid lane. They were looking for either Tarzan or Chovy. Chovy with his flash up, and it looks like they're going to be looking for him here. Let's see if they can land it. Easy dash away, and ult into the key as Chovy just laughs in the face of 3 of them.
Threading the needle, doesn't need to flash, under no threat of dying. The best players problem solve well, and Silas is one of those champions that helps you do that. Even if you don't have an ult pre-selected, you can do a lot of cool stuff with all your options. He picks a winner. If this was 3-card Monty, you'd be turning over that cup and the ball would be there. Chovy runs with the ball if you give it to him, and if he gets any more ganks and gets a kill, this could be a big game for Chovy.
I just love how calm it looks, you know, as speaking of which, SoHwan in a little bit of trouble. Again, they blew his flashes. Now we got a kill in the mid lane, potentially. The kick to the face, and the kill in the top side, 2-on-1. And that is going to happen on 2 sides of the map, so a 2-for-1 here for Griffin.
When kills happen in one side of the map, and on the other side you see some reverse plays happening, you compliment the team that made the active play happen, or you talk and inspect what's happening with the team that didn't get the kill. But in scenarios like this, where the kill happens in mid and the kill happens in top, that just shows the one team's better than the other one. Valdez, they use their chess pieces much better. The lane swap and also the successful gank. That's just a tilter if you're a Hanwha Life fan. They're going to get turret plates aplenty, kills, and a Rift Herald. That's a lot of objectives to the side of Griffin.
For sure, they are getting very far ahead because plates in 2 lanes compared to the 1 to the side of Sangyoon, and the bottom side you see that sword can't really get near that one as the junglers are trading places, but Tarzan's got the Rift Herald, so not much you can do there. Moojin going to come on in here, and you would have to imagine that Griffin should win the race, but let's see.
I mean, Griffin's not even trying to win the race. They literally have a handicap, and then they're not even using the Rift Herald.
Yeah.
They're giving themselves a handicap to keep it competitive. That's a very intriguing way to go. My feeling is they're going to be looking for 2 turrets pre-14 minutes by jamming the Rift Herald into mid lane.
Yeah.
There's 3 left. 2 die instantly to the Rift Herald. Here we go on the top lane play. They didn't see the lane swap coming, did Hanwha Life. You would have thought the call would have been wait. Aatrox is taking a while to return. It's usually about the timers that actually make things different there. Here's the mid lane play.
Ooh.
Those max range Qs from Tarzan 2 days in a row are on point.
It's a beauty, that's for sure. This guy is pretty unbelievable with his mechanics and his thinking and pretty much everything. So happy to have him here and be able to watch. Currently 3-0 on that Lee Sin. Got that early Warrior enchant, plus the Merc Treads up against all the CC. Also adding in a bunch of health and cooldown reduction. He's feeling pretty good about this game so far.
Tarzan walk up, try to spot with his Q. If you judge this series based on the first game and 13 minutes of the second, this is Griffin throwing the proverbial glass of water in your face and saying, wake up, we're still Griffin. Because we couldn't say that really about their earlier performances, even with the 2 match wins, 1 match loss that they put together. We mentioned, hey, they may have been winning, but it didn't look like the Griffin we remembered. This is the Griffin we remembered in full form, and here is those 2 turrets pre-14 minutes, because Hanwha Life really wanted a Drake, apparently.
So they get the Drake, yes, but they're going to lose the mid turret. They're going to take a bunch of damage here as the rotation comes up to the top side.
Wolf Camp, also stolen. A lot of extra objectives and only a single Mountain Drake. And again, it's often said, Mountain Drake from behind. Oh, how about another turret plate to make it an even 11? I know 11's not an even number to be fair.
Well, it is for Griffin today. That we can say. TP's coming in. They really want to kill Chovy. We know what happened the last time around. As Chovy, he's going to be looking for that Realm Warp potentially as... Okay, there it is. Get the lockdown, and now he's trying to turn it around here. 1v3, flashes away, and the Aftershock is going to keep him alive. And now the rest of Griffin are going to come in here as the disaster happens for Hanwha Life. The second time Chovy lives against a 3 or even 4-man gank that time.
And I gotta admit, Valdez, the only question in my mind was how does he do it rather than if he was gonna do it. Gets away, they get the counter kill without even using all their members. It may only be a Hanwha Life team that have been decimated 2 out of 3 times they've been on the Rift so far. But the manner and the swagger in which Griffin is doing it means that if you just look at the Griffin side, you're seeing things you want to see from them in future series.
See, he latches on, gets the aftershock that's key to keeping him alive. No pun intended here as Key goes down. The sacrifice from the side of Hanwha Life as they quickly turns tail.
Gold lead has quickly exploded to 4,500. It was 500 3 minutes ago.
That's a lot of gold.
Yep. Yep. I mean, this is lost in translation, but it's literally 6 kills with 40 more gold and 6 kills.
Yeah.
That's kind of the crazy thing about turret plays is when you think of the LPL games where you have kill a minute, consider kill a minute plus turret plates means that you're like effectively getting like 20 kills worth of gold in the early game in some of those games. And this is gold that didn't exist in previous metas. As Chovy's
Can he do it again?
probably.
I love that dodge, and he turns into Jace here. Is it going to help him?
He's caught, baby.
There you go. They finally catch that pesky fly that was flying around the room for way too long. But Chovy had a bit of a last laugh, the second to last laugh with the Proto Belt. Nice little work there, but Hanwha Life, they were angry, you could tell, but they finally got it.
The WTF 2 Jace's moment abated by the kill onto him. Good stuff from Key. Needed a moment like that, given they went for the confident pick. And when we're talking about the Callista Thresh and talking about how the all-in onto Lehends would be so big, obviously the laning phase broke down quickly, but I want to also point out that it's Sangyoon's Callista, and he's had a very high career win rate on this one in solo queue at the top ELO ranks and also pro play. And Key is a very famous big support player. Thresh is definitely way in his wheelhouse, so even though the game is kind of fallen apart around those picks, it's still good to see those little moments that remind you of better times for Key's Thresh.
Especially for Key, you know, we always like to highlight Sangyoon down in the bottom lane, but whenever we get this chance to highlight Key, it is pretty nice. As I say that, and he misses the play. Nice little move by Sword, as he's going to have to flash away from that one.
Viper and Lehends were backing up, but not worth over pursuing with no deep vision to know how far away Hanwha Life or Esports other members are. A lot of ice items already done for Viper, but does not have the transformation on the attack speed just yet. Another attack speed item, whether it's the Zeal in a bit or the Stinger from here to get that transformation. To transform is the big lure of going down the Storm Razor. Storm Razor and the Press the Attack don't have synergy, but Storm Razor has its own energized effect in that magic damage order. In case you guys are wondering. Difficult read for Hanwha Life in terms of the goal.
Yeah, every position was ahead for Griffin. Just wanted to cover that. I mean, it's pretty obvious here as Griffin got a ton of plates and objectives so far. They are going to be looking at this Cloud Drake in about 20 seconds. They already do have one. So, would be pretty nice to pick that one up, especially for Sword, Chovy, and even Tarzan to get into the play.
And now, how does Hanwha Life regroup? You know, you have to look at what their comp has to try to work that out. Some sort of Realm Warp all-in is, you know, very feast or famine, but are we getting to that point is a fair thing for Hanwha Life to consider. They do have Engage. They have many different ways to pick. And if they get a good vision line, a face check can be very swiftly punished by the side of Hanwha Life. They still do have that potential, but outnumber is kind of already where your mind goes to, and that just means also kind of misexecution in macro from Griffin to allow themselves to be picked. So does feel like they need too much headstrong from one of the members of Griffin. And right now Griffin are going for a gank rush, which at 19 minutes seems to extend all the way to the kind of shallowest entrance to the red buff of the enemy team.
Yeah, I thought maybe they were going to try to make a big play down towards the bottom tier 2 before the Baron starts, as, you know, without Baron really on the map, it can be hard to find any big objectives and push into the enemy team. The wave clear out of the side of Hanwha isn't, you know, horrendous. They do have that Jace, and the Callista can be okay at times, especially after a couple of items. So now Griffin here with the Baron about to start are really shifting focus over towards that objective now instead of the enemy red side.
Here it does spawn. Does the Baron. 20-minute Baron. Potential with this Fed. A Kai'Sa is always a very real chance, but look at this. it seems like Operation find new and innovative ways to chase down Chovy is what Hanwha Life are doing. So they're... Wait. We got the bounce as Chovy.
Oh boy, Chovy is able to get away with that proto belt again. Steals that one, but the kick actually gets everybody out of range. At least gets them to safety, but no turnaround.
No control on the red buff, jungle down bot lane. It feels like Hanwha Life, if we're going to pick an analogy for how this game is going, you know when the main quest in like a really big kind of Fallout game isn't working for you, you can't work out the solution for a puzzle, this boss is too hard, and you go and play side objectives instead? It feels like they're focusing on the side objective of see Chovy, kill Chovy, rather than actually find holistic ways to win the game, because it feels very low percentage going for aggressive gank rushes 5,000 gold behind.
I mean, they did a nice amount of burst damage, but it's going to be pretty hard, especially when Chovy is already level 13. You know, he's going to have a lot of stats. It's going to be especially hard with that the Merc Treads that he does have. Looks like 3 Merc Treads for their team. Lux actually doesn't have any boots. Going barefoot this game.
Yumi style on the Lux in this game. You actually do need the, but I guess double, I mean, it's actually kind of playing to the Drakes they have, right? Lux is not normally in combat unless she already kind of is in the position where she doesn't need to walk around too much anymore. So with Double Cloud, if you actually have a big item completion instead, I don't mind a stopwatch instead of boots. I don't mind finishing a big item instead of boots. I don't hate it, funnily enough.
Yeah, it kind of works out. I feel like this is the first time, really, that I've seen that one. They're going to find Sangyoon here. Actually, a nice amount of burst damage already just from Lux and the W from Viper. So, already flexing their muscles, but Hanwha Life not scared to move on in and clear out some vision.
Barefoot Lux does walk around and outrange the EQ in an amusing fashion. Getting the Baron in terms of damage, trivial for Griffin, but actually the setup for it's going to take time. Viper's probably on a back timing, but it seems like he wants to avoid that. Just take the blue to refill his mana rather than go for a purchase. It's Nashor's Tooth Gold, maybe not done just yet. Moment he has the gold, can teleport back in.
We saw another item picked up here for Lehends. I thought he was just going to buy some control wards, but he bought, I don't actually even know the name of this item, the one that goes together with the Redemption and Rageous
I want to
Glory.
say it's Crystalline Bracer.
That sounds correct. I think it's Crystalline something.
I think that's what it is. It's that health item as
Ooh, nice read here by Moojin, but they're looking to turn it around as Tarzan just going to kick them way back.
They're pincering.
TP comes in, and they're trying to go for the Wombo combo as they get Lava and Moojin in the frontier, and now Viper just jumping into the back line. And there is nothing that Hanwha Life can do as the triple kill is secured for Viper.
Brutal Savage racked by the Griffin aggression in this particular one. They clean them up. It's easy for them with all the items they have. And speaking of cleaning them up, how about a Purple Worm to complement the 10 kills, the couple of Drakes, and the turrets for Griffin?
Game number 1 looks so easy with the Fed Sona, but this time around it's just the Fed Griffin playing a more standard composition, but doing it the Griffin way. As now with the Baron, they're going to extend their lead to over 10,000 gold.
Yep, this one is a bit of a speed run from Griffin. They had a lot of issues to work out. They lost to Sandbox. They were at danger of having their worst first round of a regular season. And then the shout out to Red Eye with a play like this. It was brutal in just how early you could see it coming. They absolutely put down Savage damage, and all Hanwha Life can do is pick up the pieces after getting wrecked this hard. There's just no way back into this game already. They have a team fight comp that isn't going to have enough items to team fight. Feels like Griffin can do whatever they want.
It does feel that way. If this were solo queue, maybe you'd be hitting that /FF button, but it's not. I think that's Tenacity we were hovering over again. Not 100% sure. That was 51% there.
I think Griffin out well past 51% there. And this best of 3, even calling it a best of 3 seems weird for some reason. Given the tone of this series. Yeah. At least the Sona's not a discreet.
We have some series that are back and forth, you know, reverse sweeps, or even series that are one-sided, but sometimes the tone is also silly at the same time, which just makes it into this whole new thing that makes it feel like a best of 2.
It's just one of those awkward spots where we don't see FF in pro play, but you do worry about the long-term kind of mental deterioration losses like this if they go longer due to a team. Because Hanwha Life look like they're going to be in a relegation battle, and no one's having fun on their side in this game.
Yeah, definitely feels bad, man, for them so far. We'll see if they can turn it around here. It is only match number 4, I believe.
Yep.
For them, so I was going to say 3, which is why I hesitated, but still a lot of teams to play in the first round and potential for them to try to turn this one around. But we're kind of talking about stuff like this because game number 2 kind of seems over from this point.
Chovy gets to beat Jace, so he gets to have some fun. Which Jace is superior? The one with 2 more items?
Yes, that one.
But it builds AP.
AP
Jace, WTF.
How about the one that's up 2 levels as well?
Yeah, there's a few things to point to. I'm gonna go on record and say I believe Griffin might be better than Hanwha Life Esports.
Yeah, I mean the little bit of a stumble up against Sandbox is hard because, well, Moojin, he's having a hard time. He landed that one the last time around. Let's see how SoHwan can do in the back line as another nice finding here from Lehends. And they're going to kill SoHwan. They're going to kill everybody as it was one last stand here from Hanwha Life. They do at least get the 1 kill on Viper, who was a big-time carry, as now Griffin will push in for the win.
Well, they killed Viper, which they couldn't do in game number 1, so that part's good. He does not end the series 16-0. It's 16-1 for Viper. Griffin run it down, keep pushing, and Hanwha Life Esports, it may only be 27 minutes of the death time. It's too long to stop this one.
We'll see what they can do the next time around, but Griffin is going to have to go home with this one. As they stumbled against Sandbox, but they came out here tonight to make a statement. As the Silas is going to save Lehends' life here, plus their gigantic shield. And that is going to be game number 2 and the victory here in the series going over to Griffin.